Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy I on the NES. My name is Zane, better known as the King Bahamut. In the last episode, we fought the corrupted knight Garland and rescued Princess Sarah of Corneria. And as a reward for our heroism, a bridge was built connecting the continent so we can explore further and play the rest of the game. In this episode, we're going to get into a fight with some imps. Alright, now that that's out of the way, in this episode we are going to be making east for the town of Pravoka, because there's something important we have to do there. But first, I actually want to start off north, because there's some extra items we can get if we go northward. Alright, sorry about the sporadic editing. I generally don't like showing random encounters unless there's a point to it. And oh, we have a new enemy. Grey wolves. Or great wolves, depending on how you interpret limited text space. They're not really all that complicated. They are basically just wolves that hit harder. They're fairly straightforward to take care of. So like I said, there's some extra goodies we can get if we go north into this cave that you probably saw before we were so rudely interrupted by wolves. But more than that, there's this location that I'm going to is actually going to be important for later, so it's a good idea to check it out when you get the chance. And my mages are getting pretty beasted on, so I may need myself and Brian will deal with these two mages here, and I'm just gonna cast fire on this one. So I would really like these things to stop being a pain in the butt, and that was not enough to kill him. Joy. Ooh, geez. That's not good. For fuck's sake, Brian, stop missing. I am actually in a bad spot here. I was not planning on needing to... Ooh, shit. Oh man, thank God Lewis dodged that. There we go. Finally, one of them's down. And like clockwork, I am in need of... Alright. That wasn't enough to kill it? The hell? This game can be kind of a pain sometimes with its difficulty, but... Alright, there we go. That was way more of a challenge than I was expecting, but at least we get a pretty hefty chunk of experience for it. Let me see. I think Rice is gonna have to use her last spell charge to heal me up. But anyways, let's go into this cave. Get some sick music. I checked the empty air for no reason. And we have a broom wandering around. Talk to it. Tecles be soup. A magic spell? Well, we can test Tecles be soup. I'm sorry, that was terrible. But this is pretty obvious. If you read the uppercase text backwards, push B and select, and that is not it's not working. What the hell? Oh, it seems to be... Seems like it's not accepting that I'm holding the key that the B button is assigned to down. Anyways, in this chest we have a pure potion, and a heal potion, and another heal potion. Heal potion, pretty obvious. They restore 30 HP. I actually got that wrong in the last episode. And the pure potion does something. It cures poison, which we have not run into any enemies that can poison us just yet. So don't worry about that too much.
Where is my crystal? I can't see anything without it. Who stole my crystal?
This is the witch Matoya, and as you just heard from her, she's missing a crystal. So we'll have to keep that in mind for later. Like I said, this cave here is going to be important for later. Oh, and here we have a new enemy, asps. They are poisonous snakes, or venomous snakes, I should say, because venom and poison are not the same thing. And they can poison your party members if they hit you with their regular attacks, so be careful. Other than that, not really too dangerous. Although they are withstanding our attacks pretty well. I am kind of surprised at how strong the enemies in this region of the world are for our level. I was hoping we wouldn't have to do any grinding this episode, because this next section of the game we're coming up to is a little grind happy, not gonna lie, but I was not expecting to be in any sort of need. Well, we have a couple heal potions, so let's restore Lewis to full HP, and press on. Like I said, we're going to be going east to the town of Pravoka. There is actually a person in Corneria who tells you that you have to go east to Pravoka at some point, I think. Or they at least mentioned Pravoka, the town. Okay, and with that battle out of the way, let's go onwards. So the plan for this episode is I want to get to Pravoka, show off some of the new equipment and magic we can get there. Oh, we have ogres here. These ogres are no joke. They are kind of dangerous. And by kind of, I mean they're actually very dangerous for this early on in the game. So like I said, the plan is to at least get to Pravoka. There's a important thing we need to get there. And then we'll probably go on for a little bit more after that, because I do want to see if we can get to the next town before the end of this episode. So let's get rid of this guy. Oof. Ooh, that could have been bad. Luckily, yeah, ogres, they have pretty decent amount of health, and they can hit pretty hard for as early as you encounter them, but thankfully this guy didn't feel like being too much trouble, and he actually gives a lot of money for being defeated, so it is worth your time to knock them out. I am not dealing with more packs of wolves, because the last time I fought wolves, even though they were admittedly great wolves, that did not end well for me. And here's hoping I can run before they kill me, please. And it's gonna... Oh, thank God. I almost didn't run away from that battle, which that would have been really bad. We're gonna have to use our last heal potion. Yeah, this game is an NES game, so don't expect it to go easy on you. Case in point, we have more freaking enemies here. I'm gonna be so glad when we get to the town. Alright, that battle is donezo. So further, and there it is, the town of Pravoka. Please do not give me a random encounter before I get into the town. Okay, thank you. So yeah, this is Pravoka, a coastal town. Help! Uh-oh, seems like there is some trouble here. Let's talk to this sick mohawk dude. This town has been invaded by pirates. Oh, that's not good. But Unfortunately, I am too tired from the journey to go help right away, so before we do that, how's our money looking? 700. Almost 800. Here's the end. So let's heal up. Save our game. And let's explore a little more. We've got this shady looking dude over here. We don't want to talk to him just yet. You probably know why. You can piece it together from the Mohawk dude. Let's go check out the armor shop, because there's actually some new pieces of equipment we can get. First off is the wooden shield, so let's give that to Brian. We can buy some gloves, and we actually want to do that for pretty much everyone in our party, I think. And 4. And then I want to buy some chainmail for... well, if I buy the chainmail, it's gonna be too much for everything I want to do here. So I'm gonna forego that for the moment. Let's equip everything. And then there's one more thing I want to do before we talk to this bloke here. And that is go over to the magic shops. And let's check out the White Magic Shop first. White Magic Shop has Lamp, which I believe cures a blind status. Mute, which shuts off enemies from being able to use magic. Aillet, which increases your resistance to electrical attacks. And Invis, which I believe increases your evasion. These spells are not terribly helpful, and they are also 400 gold apiece, so I recommend you don't buy any of the white magic in this town yet. There may come another time where those spells will be a bit more easy to afford. But thankfully, we also have the Black Magic Shop here. Now, as I said before, Final Fantasy I has a lot of glitches. The Dark and Temper spells do not work correctly, so do not buy them. The only really spell that I really consider to be particularly worth it is the Ice spell, so that's what we're going to buy. And we are out of money, so we are, I would say, about as prepared as we are ever going to be to talk to this bloke here.
I am Bicky the Pirate, and surprised I am that you scurvy dogs have the nerves to face me. Mates, get these landlubbers!
And we have a battle against 9 pirates. 9 of them. Good news is, pirates are a joke. They have 6 HP, which is less than imps. Less than the enemies we were fighting to start the game with, who our white mage was able to one-shot. They are a joke, which is precisely why they are doing 10 damage to me. Stop that, please. See, our white mage knocked him out. Wow, why did you critical me? It's because I was smack-talking you so much. That's why you critted me, I bet. Oh, jeez. Lewis, please get rid of some of them. Okay, I forgot that my red mage has the ability to use magics. So let's double cast some magics, and let's test out our new ice spell against this guy. Oh dear. Please do not knock the red mage out. Okay, thank you. And right as soon as that happens, I get hit. Which is why I'm glad that I used 2 cure spells. It may have been a mistake to put my red mage in the absolute front spot, because that means he's going to get targeted by a bunch of attacks. 64 damage to this pirate. That is complete overkill. bonk him on the head with her sword, do a critical hit that was completely unnecessary. Fire knocks him out. And there we go. That's all of them. Not a terribly hard boss fight, but because you're fighting 9 enemies, if they gang up on one character, that can be pretty bad for you. But luckily, that was enough to get us to level 4. So I'm going to be mashing through level up prompts. Brian is our first character to breach the 100 hit points ceiling. That is excellent. And now that that's done, talk to Bicky again.
Okay, you got me. Take my ship.
We get a ship! And we also get the townspeople coming back out. Let's talk to this guy. There are many dangerous monsters in the sea, be careful. So as you heard, we have a ship now, which means we can go explore the ocean. And there is actually something for us across the sea. But I want to talk to this guy first. I have escaped from Melmond in the west. My town is in trouble. Please help them. Melmond is not where we are going to be going next, but we will keep that in mind for later. Let's go over here to the sword shop. Although I'm not really sure why, because the thing I want from this shop is the short sword. But it's a little bit pricey. So I cannot afford that right now. The scimitar is also okay. I did not mean to select that. It's not as good as the short sword, as you can probably guess. I'm gonna head over to the armor shop real quick, so... Cutting away to save time, except probably not, because I am almost over there. Oh, and just so you know, if NPCs get in the way of one space places, you can just shove them out of the way. Just hold the direction. The elves live across the sea. Matoya's herb is the only thing that will wake their prince. Nothing here. This guy is nothing. Thank you. We don't need to be afraid of pirates anymore. You probably didn't need to be afraid of them in the first place, considering they get one shot by a white mage. Let's go to the armor and buy me some chainmail. Actually, hang on a sec. I want to check something. Okay, my red mage cannot equip the wooden shield. I was briefly consulting the guide I'm using to play along with this, and yes, I am using a guide, because some of the dungeons are... let's just say that this game's dungeons are not exactly super fun to navigate, so I did want to have a guide. But now that I've equipped the chainmail to myself, let's sell my wooden armor for 25 gold. Half of what it originally cost, as is standard fare for RPGs. I am tempted to buy some extra heal potions, because I was getting my butt beat. Some tents, maybe a cabin. Let's get one for right now. I don't want to spend too much money, because there is actually something I want to do with money later on. There's some things that we're going to need money for. Ships can only stop at ports. There are no ports in the north. That is actually important. So if we go out the town, we see our ship right here. And a port is dictated by this this border of cobblestone pathway. And if we go into the ship, we get some very joyous, upbeat music. And we get special encounters out in the ocean, like sharks. Always fun when you have sharks that can jump up out of the boat and do 27 damage to your black mage before you can do anything. That's the one thing I don't like about this game. Well, there's actually a lot of things I don't like about this game, but One of the more prominent ones being that turn orders feel very random, and it sometimes feels like enemies will just jump you and bop one of your characters without you being able to really do anything about it. Because they get a first turn, and they just do an obscene amount of damage to your character. But, thankfully, Shark goes down and gives us a pretty decent chunk of experience and gold. Now, we are going to probably have to do some grinding coming up. I will not show that on screen or on recording. Well, we have a new enemy. Sahagin, or a red Sahagin in this case. They are stronger variations of the normal Sahagins, which are pretty common fodder. I'm actually going to have my red mage cast lightning on this guy. Fighter can bop. And let's throw an extra lightning spell. Now, the enemies out at sea actually are probably your best source of experience and money for a while, actually. Ooh, that's a lot of damage to me. And Brian's missing with his rapier. And that's actually a good thing, because you're going to need to do a little bit of grinding for things coming up. Alright. There we go, Brian. Brian, why are you missing? I get that if this was based in reality, that Brian probably would miss a lot of enemies with his attacks, but this is not real life, so can you stop that shit? 40 damage, and that still is not enough to kill him. I really should have upgraded my weapons before coming out here, because I think that is what's goofing me over the most. Come on. Oh, for fuck's sake, I keep missing. Alright, please kill them. I keep missing. That's not helpful, guys. For fuck's sake. Okay, there we go. One of them went down. Alright, let's get this guy out of here. I really do want to get to the next town before this episode ends. The one thing about this battle system is because it's old, it's naturally a little bit on the slow side. I actually have the respawn rate, which dictates how fast text messages stick around before going away. I actually have it set higher than the usual rate of 1, and even with that, battles are still moving a little slow for my liking, but then again, battles also move slow when everything keeps missing. Every attack is missing. You know what the best part is I'm gonna finish this battle, and then I'm gonna get into another encounter after like 5 squares of moving. And it's going to take just as long as this one. Because... okay, there we go, finally. That was more annoying than it needed to be. But at least we get 93 experience from it, and 171 gold, which is very nice. This river here we cannot go into, so don't bother trying it, because you're going to run into more monsters. regular Sahagins and Odd Eyes. Odd Eyes are actually kind of annoying because they have the ability to inflict paralysis on your characters. And paralysis is no fun to deal with because it is exactly what you think it is. So your character gets stunned for however long the game decides. Oh, and Brian knocks this guy out. And thank God, because I did not want to have to deal with 2 paralyzers. And there we go. Brian just got paralyzed, which is fun for everybody. Status effects are annoying to deal with, because you can see Brian doesn't get to move. Okay, at least that time the paralyzed attack didn't do anything to me. We took him out, so we don't have to deal with that anymore. Thankfully, I think the stun will wear off Brian this turn, and if it doesn't... Okay, it doesn't wear off this turn. That's okay. Alright. Okay. Thankfully, these enemies are weak to the basic lightning spell, which we have 4 charges of per mage who knows it. So we can deal with them pretty easily. So all I have left to do is finish this one Sahagin off. Not before he gets a quick pot shot in on me. And he is terminated. You are terminated. I cannot believe I have gone 3 episodes before making that joke. How are we doing for money? We have 646. That is not enough for what I want, but we have reached the next town. Welcome to Elfland, or Elfheim. Insert Sword Art Online joke here. Save our prince! Before I do that, I want to stay at the inn for 100 gold. Oh god, that's the one thing about this game, is inns do indeed scale with how far you are to progress, and that's actually kind of annoying. It's actually very annoying, now that I think about it. Alright, so here, weapon shop, we have iron nunchucks, a large knife, which I am actually going to buy for Lewis, an iron rod, the saber, which is actually worse than the short sword that you can buy in Pravoka, and the silver sword, which is a very good weapon, but also very expensive. It is 4,000 gold. And you are not going to be able to afford that for a while. The prince must wake soon, or the dark elf will dominate. Alright, and here in the armor shop, we have iron armor, copper bracelet. Now, bracelets are weird. They're kind of like a catch-all body armor for pretty much all the classes. But they're also not the best armor. They can be useful, but I'm going to forego that one right now because it's, well, first off, it's 1,000 gold, and I do not have 1,000 gold. But I'm going to buy some caps for everybody. This game is a little weird when it comes to armor, where a large chunk of the armor that is in the game, you cannot, oh, whoops. Brian's inventory is full, so hang on a sec. I'm going to do some quick inventory management. Equip the cap, equip the wooden helm. I'm going to unequip this wooden shield so I can sell it and make room for the iron shield. Honestly, I probably should have not bought the wooden shield. I'm getting myself mixed up here. Sell the wooden shield for 7 gold. Then buy the iron shield for 100. We are down to 18 gold, and that's kind of a problem, because there are some very good spells that you can buy in Elfland. The prince must wake soon, or the power of the Dark Elf will dominate. Yep. So, as you can tell from the dialogue, the elfish prince has been put to sleep by a curse. Astos wears a disguise and lurks in seclusion. Long ago, I wandered to the northwest. I found an ancient castle that was so spooky I left immediately. So we'll have to check that out later. Swords and armors made of silver are very powerful, because we are not using real world logic, because silver is actually a very bad material to make things out of. So this is actually the level 4 white magic shop. We have the Pure spell to cure poison, Fear to make enemies run away, A-Ice to decrease ice damage, and A-Mute to prevent your characters from being silenced. Over here, we have this guy. The prince must wake soon, yada yada. And we have the black magic shop with level 4 black magic, which costs 4,000 gold a spell, which... F that noise, honestly. At least for the moment, because I do not have that much money. And I am on the wrong side of town to go to the place I want to go. So, let's go back over here into this black magic shop. This is the one I wanted to go into. This black magic shop is for tier 3 magic, so we can get Fire 2, Hold, Lightning 2, and Lock 2, which is a bugged spell that does not work correctly. This magic is very important. If you can, try to get it as soon as you possibly can, because it is extremely, extremely helpful for something that we're going to be doing coming up. And the white magic shop may actually be even better, because you can only buy, as you may have noticed, you can only buy up to 3 spells for any one character at a time. But this right here, you have Cure 2, Harm 2, and the Heal spell, which is like a cure spell that goes across your entire party. And you also have A Fire to take less fire damage. This white magic shop is very useful because it has 3 spells that are very, very useful for stuff coming up. So you're going to want to be buying a bunch of equipment. But, as you've noticed, our prince was to become the king of Elfland. That's not something that we had noticed. But as you've noticed, a lot of this equipment and magic is very expensive. So this is actually a point where, because we have a bit of a lengthy amount of grinding to do, I want to grind up until I can afford at least 1 short sword for both of my physical fighters, because I was missing a lot of attacks out on the ocean, and I don't want to have to deal with that nonsense. How close are we to a level up? About 400 experience points. Okay. But I want to get a bunch of money, at least 15,000 gold, so I can buy the Fire 2 spell, because that's actually a very important and very helpful spell. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut the episode here, and off screen I'm going to do some grinding up until I can afford the Fire 2 spell. And then I'm going to show you guys a decently well-known little secret technique that people who are very familiar with this game probably know, called the Peninsula of Power technique, which will be very useful for getting a little bit of extra money and experience early on in the game. So, until next time, this has been Zane, better known as the King Bahamut, signing out. If you liked this video, please leave a like, leave a comment telling me what you liked about the video, and feel free to subscribe and hit the little bell notification if you wish to see more content like this. I will see you all in the next episode. Take care.